Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is grilled chicken quesadillas with avocado salsa verde. Well, grilled chicken quesadillas get made on the regular at my house, so I'm surprised we haven't done this one on the channel yet, but I'm also excited to share it with you. Before we jump into the quesadilla part, we're gonna put together that salsa. So we're gonna grill off some of the ingredients for our salsa verde, including some avocado, which is going to make it a really creamy, bright green salsa verde, incredibly tasty, and it's gonna go great with the quesadilla. So we're gonna start by firing up some charcoal on the Napoleon grill today. We're gonna be cooking our chicken and our salsa over the charcoal, and then we're gonna be toasting the quesadillas on the griddle. So pretty sweet little setup here for a gas grill. We have our charcoal basket in place underneath the grates. So we're gonna be cooking 100% charcoal for our veggies and chicken. We'll load that up with some lump. And we're gonna use the gas burners to get our charcoal going, and then we shut them off and just cook purely over charcoal from there on. So we'll fire these up, and just let them run over high for now, and wait for that charcoal to get hot. All right, so the charcoal's got a good start now. We can shut off our burners. Now, a good portion of our salsa ingredients are going to be grilled today, but all of them are going to come together in the blender in the end. So let's take a look at what we've got. So for our chilies today, we have Anaheims, a couple of those, and 4 nice big jalapenos. We got about 1 pound of these tomatillos. Most of them I've already taken the husks off and rinsed them off, but just to show you a couple here, what you're looking to do is just get rid of that husk, and then it tends to be a little tacky, might have some dirt underneath it, so take that to the sink and rinse it off. And these tomatillos are gonna give us a really bright, acidic flavor to the salsa. Next, we've got our onion. We're gonna grill off probably about half this. This is more than we need, so we'll take half of that big onion. We've got some avocados, of course. Not gonna grill these items. Some lime juice, some garlic, and cilantro. I think so we can expose some surface area here. We'll go ahead and cut this down into quarters, peel it, and then we'll be able to grill this off on multiple sides. All right, we've got a good charcoal base going. We're gonna throw our salsa ingredients in here, starting with the peppers. Okay, we're running pretty hot, so if you're cooking on a different type of grill, you wanna go on 500 over direct heat. Tomatillos can go on whole. And what we're looking to do here is we wanna get our tomatillos softened just a little bit, and they should have some char on them. Same thing with the onions, slightly softened with some char, and the peppers we're gonna blacken completely. So there we go, that's what we're looking for. A little bit of char on the outside. I'm gonna flip these around. It adds so much depth of flavor to your salsa by charring these off first. Check on our jalapenos as well. Yeah, those are looking good. You can actually see where the skin's starting to separate from the flesh, and that's the end goal here. So we're gonna separate that skin off the flesh of the pepper after it's been charred off. Get some good color on those onions as well. So these are looking pretty good now. They're starting to soften up. You can see how it's starting to spit out some of its liquid. And before we lose all that good juice, we're gonna take these off. So all these tomatillos, as well as the onions, can just come off the grill and sit in a bowl together. The peppers we need to steam in a bag once they finally come off. Let's check on these. See, we haven't quite got this area yet, so we can kind of use the lines of the grill here to hold that up and get the spots that we need to finish. So this is what we're looking for, blackened on all sides, so that skin is releasing. We're gonna help that skin release by putting these in a bag here in just a moment. So you can do this steaming portion in a zip top bag, you can do it in a paper bag, you can even just put it in a bowl and cover it. But the idea is to trap that heat in there so the steam that comes off the peppers starts to release the skin from the flesh. So we're gonna start adding everything to the blender now. I'm just gonna help the blender along by chopping our onions down just a little bit. These tomatillos, they don't really need much, so we'll go ahead and just add them in whole. The Vitamix will take care of those. Now we get to our avocados. So we're just gonna take the pit out of here, and then we'll scoop the flesh out and add that. You can go as much or as little avocado as you like because, I mean, salsa verde is salsa verde without it, so you don't have to have an avocado. I just really like the creaminess that it adds. So next we're going to add our garlic. We go with about 4 cloves, and we'll just crush these down and peel them and throw them in once they're crushed, just like that. Now for the cilantro, we're going to go for a half bunch of cilantro, just a rough chop, and then we're coming in with the lime juice. So I'm going to juice about 1 lime in here, and I know limes vary in size, but this is a good starting point. We can always add more lime juice later. All right, so these have just been steaming for about 10 minutes now. Let's see how we did. I think we probably have let them go long enough. We're just going to open these up. We're going to discard that stem and the seeds. And then this opposite side, hopefully what we find is that the skin just peels right off. So now what we have left behind is this tender, smoky flesh of the pepper. These Anaheims don't work any different. Just scooping the seeds out, peeling the flesh off, and we're just about ready to put this salsa all the way together. Let's give them all a rough chop and throw them in the blender. Before we hit go, let's add a little bit of salt. I've got the Jacobsen black garlic salt here, which is going to be delicious in this salsa and on our chicken later as well. All right, get her going. So pretty smooth consistency there. You can thin it out a bit if you like, or you can leave it nice and creamy. But most important is that we nail the flavor. It's tangy. You're getting the avocado, you're getting the chilies. Maybe use just a touch of salt to bring everything else to the front, but for the most part, that's right where we want it. I've decided I want a little bit more of that lime tang in there, so we're gonna add just a little bit more lime, another half. So this recipe today will get you about a quart of this avocado salsa verde. If you want to cut it down, you can do that. Honestly, if you want to change anything about it, you can do that. It's just cooking, so if there's ingredients you like or don't like, get creative. So now salsa's going into the refrigerator just to cool down a bit, and we're gonna start in on the chicken. So what we're cooking today is boneless, skinless, thighs and breasts. And this is what we have on hand at home all the time, and it's just easy. Pull it out of the freezer the day before and ready for dinner the next night. So, you know, easier than breaking down a whole chicken. Most people have this stuff on hand. We're just hitting this with a little bit of chili oil before we do our seasoning, and we are gonna do a really simple seasoning on these chicken thighs and breasts today. All right, so we're just doing salt and pepper today, but we're gonna use that same fantastic Jacobsen black garlic salt that we put into the salsa. It smells so good. It smells like roasted garlic. We'll hit it with a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. So the flavor profile on the chicken is going to be pretty simple. Obviously salt, pepper, garlic, and then we'll hit it with some lime juice when it comes off the grill. And we're keeping it simple on the chicken because we've got lots of other flavors to build around in the quesadilla. We're gonna grill off some red onion that we'll chop up and put inside the quesadilla with the chicken, with the cheese. We're also gonna hit it with a little bit of our Mexicano seasoning, and then we're gonna have that really flavorful salsa. So we don't need to overdo it here. We're back at the grill. We fed a little bit of charcoal into the basket just a while ago to keep our heat up. We're still running really hot, like 500 plus. Gonna get the chicken on. We're looking to get some really good color on our chicken. If we need to end up moving this indirect, we always can do that. Also gonna throw some onions on here. And that's kind of the idea here. We want to get some color on it and then bring the internal temperature up. So if you're cooking quickly at a higher temperature, just go ahead and get your color on there, close the lid so the internal comes up with the browning of the chicken. If you're cooking a little bit slower, say your charcoal's died out a little bit, maybe you go ahead and leave that lid open so the outside browns while the internal comes up. Well, our chicken thighs are creeping up on 170, which is what we're shooting for in the thighs. The breasts back here, we want to go for about 155, 160, and we're still a little low, so I'm going to pull the chicken thighs and we'll let the breasts continue to cook. A lot of these onions getting softened. We've got good color, so we can pull those off as well. So I threw the second shelf in to finish the breasts, a little bit more indirect heat. And we're getting there, 155 almost, 165. Let's pull them. All right, so we're just gonna dice these up now and get to putting these quesadillas together. Let's see how that turned out. Oh yeah, nice and juicy. Try and capture some of that juice and work it back in there. And then as promised, a little bit of lime juice over the chicken. Toss all that around. See how that tastes. Simple, delicious, juicy. That's all we need. We'll give our onions a rough chop now, and we'll be ready to build these quesadillas. Well, Chef Britt was nice enough to make us some of her flour tortillas, so thank you, Britt. These tortillas are using half duck fat and half lard. If you go check out her video, she's also got her doing the bacon fat tortillas. Really good stuff. Anyway, it's all ready to go. Let's put it together. But we've got a few cheeses to choose from. My favorite in a chicken quesadilla is pepper jack, so we'll start with that. Also got a little bit of Oaxaca, kind of similar to a mozzarella. And then if you're into it, some sharp cheddar. Then we're gonna load this up with our grilled chicken, some grilled onions. Give it a little shake of the Cattleman's Mexicano for that taco flavor. And we'll hit it with a little bit of that avocado salsa verde. There she is. So back at the grill now, the griddle is in place and hot, but only from the heat that's left over from our grilling earlier. I don't have any of the burners on, and I want to start out that way because I would rather toast these quesadillas slowly, get a nice even toast rather than scorch them and the inside's not quite warm yet. But that said, if we need a little heat later, we can always turn the burners on. So I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on the skillet here. This is essentially just a vegetable oil, but it's that chili infused oil, so you pick up a little bit of that on the outside of the quesadilla. Pretty light sizzle sound going on right now. Yeah, just picking up on a little bit of that, which means we're nice and low, and that's a good thing. But we do have those bubbles going on. Sizzling away. Ooh, we got that nice crust on there. We'll give these a flip. And that's looking good. They smell that chili oil as well. It's got some onion in it. Dang, these are smelling good. So we're now running with the burners on underneath the griddle. Started at a low heat, kind of cranked it up to about medium low right now. Just watch the griddle, see what's going on. You know what you're looking for as far as color. It should be lightly toasted, it should be crispy, but it shouldn't be blackened. So adjust the heat accordingly. Oh yeah. Oh, here's our straggler. All right, we're gonna leave that one on for a minute. So while we're waiting on this last one to finish, I'm gonna make this little condiment that we do all the time, where we start with some sour cream, add a little hot sauce. We got the Flavor Volcano here. So this is like smoky red chili. You don't need a lot because it's got some kick. And then I usually just shake a little bit more of that Mexicano in there. Little hot sauce crema. All right, guys, check this out. Oh, you hear the angels singing. Smells incredible. Got that ooey gooey. But this is one of those foods that's just dying to be dipped in these condiments, but I'm gonna get a taste without them first. So good. There's a reason why we eat this a lot at my house. It's because it's amazing and delicious. I'm getting all the flavors. The onion's sweet because we have cooked it down a little bit. It doesn't have too much bite, but it adds some texture. Those cheeses, the way they melt together is just incredible. I'm picking up on that seasoning from the Mexicano, and then the chicken's still nice and tender. Do a little bit of that green, a little bit of that crema. Yes! Now it's right. Gosh, I'm a little speechless. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.